Hi students, good morning. How are you all? I hope that you all are fine. Okay, so today we are going to deal with this fifth chapter of 6th standard science, that is separation of substances. Okay, the name of the lesson is separation of substances. You know that we all are very much familiar that in our daily life we are separating many substances, okay, in our daily life. From morning onwards, you can see that your mother, while cooking tea or coffee, she used to separate the tea leaves or the coffee powder by using a strainer, tea strainer. Okay. At the same time, you can also observe that while before cooking rice or any pulses, your mother used to separate something from that grains. You might have observed that by means of hand picking. Okay, so along with the rice particles or the wheat grains, we may observe a lot of dirt particles or small stone, small pieces of husk, etc. will be available. This all can be separated. So that is also a type of separation process which you are experiencing in your own home. And you know that sometimes the children, while cooking any food materials, we may add, parents may add, or while we are cooking, we may add some different types of materials in this. Some of the items may be like chili, green chili we are adding while cooking pulao or poha. It is in the textbook, it is written there, dalia or poha. Poha, actually it is a North Indian dish. Here we are not saying such names in our area, but it is just like pulao. Okay, it's a type of dish which is just like pulao, in which small amount of green chilies will be added by those people. Suppose in your food materials also, in your dish also, if any amount, if more amount of chili is added, what you will do? You used to separate it with the help of your hand. You are separating it. Okay, and you can also observe that in order to separate butter from curd, we are using a process called churning. Okay, churning of butter or curd we are doing to separate it. And that is also an example for a day-to-day life activities which we are using separation of substances. Okay, why do we need to separate the substances? So in a mixture, there are different types of substances are mixed together. Okay, that's only we will call it as mixture. So why do we need to separate these substances from a mixture? So either in order to remove, we are doing the separation of harmful substances. Okay, along with the mixture, maybe some harmful substances or impurities will be available. For separating those harmful substances, we are doing separation of mixture. Okay, or in order to separate two useful components, we can do the separation of substances. Or in order to separate non-useful substances, also we can do separation of substances. Okay. So in your textbook, page number 35 and 36, especially in page number 36, there is a table, table 5.1, and in the table, there are three processes in a tabular form. There are three processes of separation are given there. Okay, in the first column, the process of separation is given, and in the second column, the purpose of doing separation is given, and in the third column, the use of this separated substance, that is also given. Okay, the first column, the process of separation, and the second column, the purpose of separation, and the third column, the use of the separated substances. Like that it is given. But in the second column as well as the third column, that purposes as well as the use, they are not given in correct order. Okay, it is given in a jumbled form. So it is your responsibility, it's an activity for you. You have to read the process which is given in the first column and then identify what are the purpose of doing that particular activity and what are the uses of those separated item, that you have to analyze the data and you have to identify the correct answer. Then you will be asked to fill those data in your notebooks. Okay, so let me explain those chart once. The first column of table 5.1, it is given that the separation of stone from rice. So that is an activity. Okay, separation of stone from rice. So, what is the purpose of doing this? You know that we are in our home also, we are separating stones from rice, or your mother is separating stone from rice before cooking. So, for what purpose she is doing this activity? Actually, you know that stone, it is not good for our stomach. So, it cannot be boiled or it cannot be cooked also. So, it is a harmful substance for us. So, the purpose is to remove this harmful substance or this harmful impurity. Okay, actually stone or dirt particle which are seen along with the food grains, that is an example for a harmful substance, and this harmful substance to be removed. For that we are separating stone from rice. Okay, then the last column when you come, you can see in the last column what is the use of this separated substance. Here what we have separated? We have separated stone from rice. Okay, stone from rice grains or wheat grains or even from pulses, we are separating the stones before cooking. And the purpose is to remove harmful substance. And then what is the use of this separate substance? Here we don't have any much use with this separated impurity. So automatically what we used to do, we used to throw it out somewhere. Okay, we will throw away these harmful dirt materials or stone particles. And the second column you can find the second point. First column, the second point you can observe there is another process, that is churning of milk. Churning of milk. You know that in our home also we are doing the churning of milk we are doing. Why should we do churning of milk? What is the purpose of doing it? In order to separate the suspended butter. The suspended butter or cheese which is present in curd, we are doing churning process. And when we are doing this churning process, we can separate the materials into two useful components. Okay, curd consists of butter is there, at the same time after the removal of butter we are getting buttermilk. Okay, so from the same curd itself, as a result of a process of churning, churn means to separate. Okay, in order to separate these two components from the curd, we are doing the process, that is churning. Then as a result we are getting butter, then we are getting buttermilk, and these both are useful. Okay, so what are we going to do with this separated product? We are not going to throw it outside anyhow, because both butter is useful for us and buttermilk is also useful for us. Okay, so we can use it. So we are not at all throwing it. In the first case we have thrown away the stone, but in the second case we have separated two components, but both are useful. Because they are useful, we are not going to throw it, we are going to use it. And the third point of the first column, you can observe one more separation process is there, that is separation of tea leaves from tea. Separation of tea leaves from tea. So tea, you know that which is used for drinking, that is in liquid form, whereas the tea leaves, they are in solid form. Okay, so here we are separating a mixture of solid and liquid, that is together, and from this liquid component we are separating solid component, that is tea leaves. Then what is the purpose of doing this activity? In order to remove non-useful substance. Okay. Okay children, we saw that why do we need to separate the things? Already we have discussed that. Why do we need to do the process of separation? Either we need to remove the harmful substances, or we need to separate the non-useful substance. Harmful substances can be removed by means of the process of separation, or non-useful substances like tea leaves we saw, that can also be separated by means of separating process. Or we can do separation of two different but useful product also, if you want to use it separately. For example, while we are while we are doing churning of curd, we are getting two useful products. We are separated butter, we are separated buttermilk also we have separated. Okay, even if we have separated this into two items, we can use, both are useful for us, we can use it separately. Okay, and when we are separating these things, separating these mixtures, we can see all the substances which we are going to do the separation are may not be same. Okay, some may be of different size, some materials in the mixer may be of different weight. For example, lightweight substances will be there and heavier particles also will be available. And sometimes the materials to be separated may be in liquid form, sometimes they may be in solid form, sometimes they may be in gaseous form. Anyhow, these materials which we are going to separate all are having different types of properties. Okay, they all are having different properties. Even if they have different properties, we need to separate it. So, in this lesson, we are going to study about different types of methods of separation. Okay, different methods of separation we are going to study one by one. Okay, now let us see what is the first method of separation. There are many methods are there. Some of the methods we will study in this lesson. Okay, the first method is hand picking. Okay, the first method of separation, that is hand picking. Hand picking, picking up something to separate, that is known as hand picking method. And already I have said to you earlier, in your home you can observe your mother will be using hand picking method to separate to remove the dirt particles or stone particles present along with the rice or wheat grains. So that is an example for hand picking. Then what is the definition for hand picking? The process of separation of dirt or stone particle from grains. Okay, that is the process of hand picking. And you can also, suppose if you are given a basket full of guava fruit as well as mango fruit together, how will you separate it? You can separate it by using your hand. That means picking the mangoes or the guava fruit separately into two different container, you can separate it. So that is by means of hand picking. Okay. So whenever we are doing hand picking, you must notice that the quantity should be somewhat lesser. Okay. Hand picking process can be done if the quantity is lesser, if more quantity. For example, while you are cooking rice in your home, we may use maximum 1 kg or 2 kg rice at a time we will use it. So in that, if there are some particles of stones or husk or some dirt particles are there, it can be removed by means of hand picking. But at a time it is very difficult, it is a very tedious task to remove these materials by hand picking from two or three bags full of rice or wheat. It will be very difficult. So while we are discussing about the hand picking, we must notice that hand picking process is advisable mainly when the quantity of the materials to be separated is of lesser quantity. Okay, the quantity should be less so that it is easy for us to do the separation by means of hand picking. I think the content is clear for you. The next process is threshing. Have you heard about the word threshing? Threshing means beating against hard substance. Okay, that is known as threshing. And in this process, generally, in order to separate grain from stalks of wheat or rice, people used to follow this method, that is threshing. You know that after harvesting paddy or wheat, farmers used to keep this harvested crop in the field itself. And due to sunlight, these stalks as well as the grain will dry in the field itself. Once if it is dried, farmers used to collect a bunch of such stalks and they will beat against stones, or if they will beat these stalks against a stone or any iron material. Okay, something should be very hard. To such a hard material, this stalks should be beaten, and this beating of these stalks in order to separate the grain from the stalk is known as threshing, we will say. What is that? Threshing. So what is threshing? Threshing is a process of separating grain from stalks. Example, rice and wheat are example for this activity. Okay. Okay, now we have already discussed about two methods of separation. The first one is hand picking and the second one is threshing. And the next we are going to see winnowing. Okay, winnowing. What is by winnowing? In order to understand that particular process, there is an activity for you. In your textbook, it is given in page number 37. Okay, page number 37, there is an activity is given for you. In this activity, what you have to do is, you have to collect some sawdust. Sawdust means you know that when we cut wood, we are getting a fine powder of wood we are getting. That is dried one. Okay, dried sawdust, or you can take dried leaves. Dried or powdered leaves we can take. A mixture of dried leaves or dried leaves powder or sawdust. Any one of these plus along with the sand. Okay, you have to take a mixture of sand and dried sawdust should be taken. And this should be kept in a sheet of paper or in a plate. You have to place both. And try to separate it by using hand picking. Is it possible to separate it by means of hand picking? Because both are finely powdered. Okay, sand, you know that what will be the size of the sand particles, and the sawdust is also now fine particles only. And here these two materials, one is sawdust, another one is sand. And out of these two, if you examine the weight of these two particles, you can find one is lighter. What would be the lighter one? Generally, that is sawdust, that is dried one, that is lighter one. And whereas the sand, compared to the weight of the sawdust, sand particles weight is more. And now, keep this in a plate or in a newspaper, try to separate it by means of your hands. Adopt that hand picking method here. Is it advisable here? No. By means of hand picking, we are not able to separate it. Then, you do one thing, you just take this in a plate or in a basket or even in the same newspaper itself, you can hold it and take it outside. Okay, take it outside. What we have to take outside? The mixture of sand and sawdust should be taken outside and keep it in a plate, in a steel plate you have to keep it, and slightly this plate should be raised up at least up to your shoulder height. You have to raise it, then tilt the plate. Then what would happen? Automatically this material, the mixture of sand and sawdust, start falling down. You can observe. Okay, and when we tilt it, this sawdust as well as the sand keeps coming down. But at the same time, you can observe one more thing. We are doing this in open place. We are doing it in outside situation where enough amount of air, the movement of air is also there. So along with the movement of air, what would happen? These lighter particles of sawdust will be throws away from the place we are standing. But we can observe this sand particle, because of it is heavier particle, it will fall directly near to our body. Okay, but whereas this sawdust is lighter particles, they will be moving away from us, whereas the sand particle, because they are of heavier particles, they fall very near to us. In this way, we are able to separate it. Okay, so the separation of these substances which are having the light weight as well as more weight, that means the lighter particles and heavier particles can be separated by this method. Which method? We are holding it against the flow of wind, against the direction of the wind. If we hold a mixture of sand as well as sawdust, the sawdust will be moving away from us. At the same time, the sand particle just fall near to us. In this way, both are getting separated. So this process of separation of lighter particles from a heavier particle with the help of wind, that is known as winnowing, we will say. What is that? Winnowing. You might have observed that after the harvesting process, especially in the agricultural field, especially in village areas, you can observe there are so many people, they used to separate the grain husk from the grains by means of this process. Okay, while harvesting or while separating the grains from the stalk, we used to get a mixture of grain along with the husk particles or dried stems and all. Okay, all these we are getting in the form of a mixture, and it should be separated. We don't want the husk, we don't want the bran or such items, we don't want. We need only the grain. So here also the farmers, after harvesting, in order to separate the grain from the husk, they used to do this process, that is winnowing. Then what is winnowing? Now we have used two situations to separate winnowing. One is, in order to separate a mixture of sand and sawdust, we have used the process, that is winnowing. Again, in order to separate husk from grains of wheat or rice, we are using this method, that is winnowing. Winnowing is a process of separating lighter components of a mixture from its heavier component. Okay, the definitions are there, it is given in your notes, you must go through that. Okay. Okay, now let us see the next process of separation, that is sieving. Okay, have you seen sieve any time? Sieve means, especially while cooking, while we are cooking any dish by using wheat flour or rice flour or something, we are using a sieve to separate it. Okay. So when we buy rava or atta from the shop, sometimes it might contain some amount of unwanted particle, maybe some insects or some husk particle will be there. In order to separate it, we used to do a process of sieving. Okay. In the process of sieving, what is actually happening means, the fine particles of the particular material, maybe wheat flour or rice flour, the fine particles may happen to pass through the fine holes of the sieve, whereas the larger particles like impurities like stones or husk or such materials will remain on the sieve. Okay. And this process of separation of fine particles and heavier particles of a mixture is known as sieving. Okay. Sieving means, what is meant by sieving? It is a process of separating fine particles from a heavier particle of a mixture, that is known as. So while we are using the sieve, what we can observe, the fine particles may pass through the fine holes of the sieve, whereas the larger particle may remain on the sieve itself. And this process is used even in the construction site also. Okay. While they are separating the sand, in order to separate the stones or pebbles from sand, especially for plastering the wall, people used to do the separation of this sand. Okay, filtration of this sand, they are doing it. And that is also done with the help of a process, that is sieving. You know that a metallic sieve will be there. Okay, with a frame, a metallic sieve will be made. And on this metallic frame, people used to pour this sand over it, and this metallic sieve will be kept in a tilted position. Okay, when we are placing the sand over this metallic sieve, all the fine particles of sand happen to fall through the sieves, through the fine holes of the sieve, whereas the larger stones, pebbles and wooden particles, etc. will be settled on the sieve itself. Okay, and this process. So sieving is used mainly to separate wheat flour, the food material, the waste materials from the wheat flour, as well as to separate stones or pebbles, etc. from sand particles while we are doing construction work. Okay. Okay, we have discussed about sieving. Okay, so what is the condition for sieving? Whenever we are doing the process of sieving, it is used when the components are of different size. Okay, one of the component of the mixture should be of fine particle size and the other component should be larger in size. If the components are of the same size, we can't separate the materials, but we can do the separation of substance by means of sieving only when the components of the mixture are of different size. So that is the thing you have to remember when we are studying about sieving process.